The Legend of Zelda. And the Wheel of Time. No, not that Wheel of Time. This Wheel of Time. The Legend of Zelda and The Wheel of Time are both huge fantasy stories with their own well-deserved cult following in the millions. With this considered, it's a wonder that these two franchises are never compared, unless it's with literally anything else. But who can blame them when The Wheel of Time has 15 books, each around 1,000 pages, and no one is going to read all that and make a YouTube video about a minor detail in a particular race of fantasy people, except me. Our story starts in the year 1998. The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time was just released, and with it a fascinating new race of people to add to the Zelda universe. These female warriors and plunderers are very strong, fast, tall, sport great red hair, live deep in a harsh desert, and never use swords. Now, you Zelda fans just freaked out, saying, hold on, the Gerudo definitely use swords. And you'd be right. And that's because the people I just described were actually the Aiel from Robert Jordan's The Wheel of Time. Oh no, not this again, not these. These Aiel, thank you. May the Lord have mercy on your soul, Amazon Prime, for ruining The Lord of the Rings and now ruining The Wheel of Time. The Wheel of Time and the Aiel came out 8 years before the Ocarina of Time. Now I know that relation by chronology is not enough proof to be sure that the Aiel from the Wheel of Time did inspire the creation of the Gerudo people. However, I am prepared to present a plethora of evidence as to why I think that the Aiel did inspire the creation of the Gerudo, and possibly how the Dragon Reborn inspired Ganondorf's Gerudo form and powers. Red hair is commonly associated with people from the north, and more specifically the Irish, with Ireland being the redhead capital of the world. But in fantasy, we have red hair representing power, ambition, malice, fire, bestiality, and many other things. While the Gerudo and Aiel harbor many of these characteristics, it does not explain their red hair, unlike with many of the other characters that I've just referenced. Red hair in reality is a genetic defect in the alleles that control the protein MC1R, which controls skin color, hair color, and eye color. Red hair is also tied to a melanin deficiency or fair skin, and this lighter skin is more vulnerable to ultraviolet radiation. Because of this, red hair and the melanin deficiency is nowhere to be found in hot, much less desert regions in the real world. This is represented in the Wheel of Time. The Aiel who commonly have red and blonde hair are not originally from the dying grounds of the waste, but they're from more temperate and cold climates of the wetland, and they immigrated there over 3,000 years ago. Robert Jordan then even makes his point more clear when these immigrants to the waste are more proud of their dark hair, which is more rare and protected from the sun's harmful rays. But what world-building evidence is there for the Gerudo? Yes, now in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, we have some lore about their creation by the Sheikah to be like the goddess. But in 1998, there was no such idea. As far as the developers are concerned, they state that they took inspiration from The Lord of the Rings and other past games. There is no mention of the Wheel of Time, despite having 9 successful books released at the time. Even George R.R. Martin, author of A Song of Ice and Fire and Fire and Blood, stated that it was the sales of the Wheel of Time that helped get his Song of Ice and Fire off the ground. The culture of the Aiel is best described as tough and confusing. They have many nuances that are unexplainable to outsiders, and marital practices are reversed to the common people. The Aiel have a 1/3 rule that once they plunder an enemy, they will take 1/3 of the goods as their own, a possible inspiration for the thieving nature of the Gerudo. The Aiel women, similar to Gerudo and Zora, are the ones who commonly propose marriage to a man. The Gerudo are a little more nuanced, however, as they always give birth to a female, unless it's the reincarnation of Ganon, but we'll get there later. The Gerudo have to leave their society and court males in order to have children. A massive part of the Aiel culture is that the maidens of the spear, female Aiel who are said to be wedded to their spear, fight the dance of the spears, and prefer to capture their enemies rather than kill them, to show dishonor to the enemy and honor themselves in the process. The Aiel also let no people into the waste except traders. This sounds much like the Gerudo, who are said to have a dance-like fighting style and capture their enemies and intruders. Just another warning, there are major spoilers for the Wheel of Time until Book 4. I am sure that many of you are aware of Ganondorf's history, but for sake of clarity, let me explain a few things. As mentioned earlier, Gerudo women give birth to females exclusively. However, they have a prophecy and tradition that once every 100 years a male Gerudo will be born. This Gerudo male will then serve as the Gerudo's king for life. The Gerudo, for the most part, follow his will intentionally. However, they can and have rebelled against him in the past. They are not bound magically to his evil will, unlike the many creatures that roam throughout Hyrule. In the Wheel of Time, the Aiel are a mysterious race until it is revealed that they have been marked as the secret people of the dragon. But who is the dragon? The dragon was originally the most powerful channeler of the one power of creation ever seen. After he sealed away the Dark One, Shaitan, he went mad and destroyed half the world. Ever since, Shaitan has corrupted the male half of the one power. After he offed himself, it was said that the dragon would be reborn to destroy the Dark One once again. This is a prophecy that the Aiel follow as they wait 3,000 years for their leader, the dragon, to be reborn. Despite everything, every fantasy theory video that is not proven by developers is all just a pattern of coincidences that we can never know for sure is correct. Like many events in history, events in fantasy development are convoluted. Maybe this video convinced you, maybe it didn't. The important thing is to get you thinking so that you can discover your own patterns and get closer to the truth. Thank you for watching this pilot episode of my channel. I expect the quality and frequency to rise as time goes on. Have a good day, and God bless.